So, it takes two, right, Zeth?
Hello and welcome to the J&Z podcast. You think this movie might join the ranks of being one of the greater video game movies?
I would say yes if it wasn't produced by Illumination.
Hello and welcome to the J&Z podcast. I am your host, Zeth Makala, with...
Jace Fanor. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That was Pedro Pascal. He played the villain in it, and he was like the one good part of that movie. That movie sucked, though. I'll tell you what, that was a drag and a half.
Hey, it gave us the meme, though.
It did.
It gave us the meme. Life is good, but it can be better.
Hello, welcome back to the J&Z podcast.
It was impressive. They hid all of it in the trailers, from the trailers and stuff. Like, they didn't say he was a villain. And then at the last second, they flipped it. But at the same time, I mean, you know, being someone that
obviously he was going to be the villain. Hello, welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Jace Van Ort.
And I'm Zeth Makala.
Are very excited for this trailer, as you can see. It's been number one on Twitter and YouTube since it's been released. In general, you excited for it?
Do you even have to question that? Sheesh, I'm pumped. I'm ready. Bring it on, baby. I'm ready.
We are ready. Hello, welcome back to the J&Z podcast. Zeth was very, very good at making moderately hard, mostly unfair levels with extremely wrong spelled names. Like, he just could not spell for nothing, and then he'd post it.
Excuse me?
I've still never seen anybody mess up the word surprise that badly to this day. Hello, and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Jace Van Ort.
And I'm Zeth Makala. What would they have to do for you to really like it?
Yeah, I just wish they'd take more advantage of it being a cartoon. Like, I liked when Greg threw the football at Rowley and it looked like he was 20 feet in the air. That was funny. Hello, and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Jace Van Ort.
And I'm Zeth Makala.
You're talking... Wait, no, you're...
I haven't watched it yet, but I refuse to.
The Emoji Movie?
Yeah, I refuse.
I've seen it a few times.
You've seen
Not
it
on
a
purpose.
few times?
Not on purpose. Hello, and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. So, Zeth, I kind of have a thought, but how would you describe this movie in one word?
Cheesy.
Cheesy it is. Yes, that is an excellent answer.
But it's a good cheesy. It's a good cheesy.
It is a very good cheesy.
Pizza time.
Hello, and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Jace Van Ort.
And I'm Zeth Makala.
The best part of that sequence, though, is when he has to stop the train. Doc Ock throws that baby into, 10th gear. It's charging down the tracks, and Spider-Man has to stop a train going, if you saw it, in excess of 100 miles an hour. Now, if you did, I'm no Matt Pat here, but if you did the math, that is a lot of strength that you have to stop a train with your arms. Almost as much strength as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson would have to stop an entire helicopter with a link of cars at the end of Hobbs and Shaw. Hello, and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. Eddie Brock asking the Lord to kill Peter Parker. Like, what on earth was that? Why
well, like,
is
that's
that
what
there?
I'm saying. You have something
so
super
bad.
serious like that, like a super serious scene like that, and then the next scene is Peter Parker dancing down the street. There's no sense or order to this movie, almost.
Hello, and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Jace Van Ort.
And I'm Zeth Makala.
But sometimes they, like I said, they do it too much. Sometimes it's kind of hard to watch it. He's just sitting there just saying nonsense, just being all weird. And hello, and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Jace Van Ort.
I guess
hate that actor so much. I don't know why. He just has like the most he's like the most pretentious thing you've ever seen. I know that's just supposed to be his character, but I despise this version of the Green Goblin. Hello, and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Jace Van Ort.
And I'm Zeth Makala.
It would unfortunately be Ark Survival Evolved. I have put more hours into that game than I can even like to think about, and I don't recommend it for anybody who wants to try it. Just don't do it. Don't put yourself through that. Hello, and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Jace Van Ort.
The Vulture is like slowly putting together the pieces of the puzzle.
He's making sure he's getting some info.
He's like, yeah, good old Spider-Man. You see him like look in the mirror at Peter, and Peter there is just like shaking in his boots.
He is not having a good time, I'll tell you. Hello and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Jace Van Ort.
And I'm Zeth Makala.
I'm very excited to see what they do with it because that can just add a whole level of immersion. Like, I remember the first time I played VR and I was like, whoa. Or, you look over the cliff or the edge and you're like, whoa, that's a long ways down, and you feel like you're about to fall off. After a while in VR, you get used to it and it doesn't, it wears off.
Yeah.
With these vibrations, I mean, you can feel the wind possibly, or if you're in a gunfight, you can feel bullets whizzing by your face. That's very exciting to hear.
I think I mentioned this early in one of the previous videos, but if they ever make a Spider-Man game, which I'd be shocked if they didn't, I want spider senses to be that. That'd be the coolest thing, to have your head vibrate and something's about to attack. That'd be the coolest thing ever.
That is a very good idea.
I'll even let Sony have it for free. You can take that idea and roll with it. Hello and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. This movie, when we watched it the other day, I saw something inside of me open up from it, and it was pure, concentrated, flowing confusion. Why is this your favorite movie? Hello and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Jason Van Ort.
And I'm Zeth Makala.
And today we're joined by our very special guest, Trenton.
I was ready to jump out of my seat and start clapping, but the beginning of it, when the Batmobile, like, its flame starts up and it literally screams, and then the car starts revving like a muscle. Like, I was just like, that's awesome.
Hello, welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Zeth Makala, and I'm joined by my wonderful friend, Jace. And yes, it does take two to do this podcast, so...
It takes two. Hello and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. And it's Marvel, so you have a certain level of quality. Not talking about Morbius.
Hello, welcome back to the new and improved J&Z podcast. But my favorite shot of all time, it was just done so stinking well. The arrow flies by and it knocks out like 2 or 3 lights. It goes ding, 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 and the whole room goes dark. And you just see like the little red thing zipping by.
I remember that.
Favorite shot in the whole film.
Yes. Today we will be talking about Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. Not the animated one, but the brand new one from 2022.
I thought he was just going to be that beginning scene. Then he shows up again. And then he's like the main helper at the end of the movie. I'm like, masterpiece.
Hello and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. All of a sudden it's totally bonkers.
I told you, you were not prepared. Like, as much as you think you know what this movie's going to be about, it goes the complete polar opposite. Because right at the beginning, it sets the tone. There's an egg. All of a sudden, a little baby pops out of it. And you're like, what the heck?
Hello and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. Today we have a rather cool episode. If you couldn't tell by the way we're dressed, we are going to be reviewing Minions: The Rise of Gru.
Why, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Zeth Makala, and this is my co-host,
Jace Van Ort. Hello and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Jace Van Ort.
And I'm Zeth Makala.
It was nice build up throughout the movie about how important it is to be physically strong. That was what I gathered from it. If you can't win your kids back with money, you can win it back by arm wrestling. You got to go to the paternity court and be like, all right, judge, stick her there. And then... Alrighty, I think we got enough. I think we got enough footage there. We can kind of mix and match it, make a sweet apology there. Wait, why are we making? No, not an apology. We didn't do anything wrong yet. I'm so used to saying YouTuber apologies. I've made a severe and continuous lapse in judgment.
With that being said, multiverses.
Doggone it, Zeth. Way to end it on a low note. My goodness.
What? Sheldon Cooper?
Who's out here watching
Theory.
Big Bang Theory? Maybe my grandmother.
One of the biggest television shows that ever came out.
One of the least funny television shows ever made. Hello and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Jace Van Ort.
And I'm Zeth Makala.
Okay, so it's a different city.
And Godzilla movies
Godzilla shows
are
up.
the best.
Mothra shows up. They blow each other up. The government steps in. Godzilla comes back. He blows up more stuff.
Yeah,
And then
that's
King
entertaining
Ghidorah
right
comes
there.
from the sky. Wait, no, Biollante shows up. They fight, and then you see the face of the woman in the clouds just fading away. Today we will be talking about Steam Boy. Steamed hams? Steamed lobster? Who's to say?
Hello and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Zeth Makala, and I'm here with Jace.
I'm Jace.
I introduced you, but
That's my catchphrase.
exactly.
Hello and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. Hello and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. Yeah.
What are you laughing at about?
I disagree. I can't
Wait, okay. Name a soundtrack then.
name a soundtrack that fits a movie better.
That's better. Name a soundtrack that you like. Exactly. You can't list.
I absolutely can.
What?
It's all about context, see? Hello and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Jace Van Ort.
And I'm Zeth Makala, speaking in a Chris Pratt-like voice.
I just love the way you put it.
It was very basic and boring, yes, but it still
It's like
was.
not all game movies are terrible. Think about Tomb Raider. That one was basic and boring.